Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling the radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving, and I feel refreshed. I feel just, I'm glowing after diving with the sharks last week in Bimini with the dive god. It just doesn't get much better than that. And, if you didn't catch it, listen to last week's show. We broadcast from the island, from the dive boat. We saw 4 great hammerhead sharks. We saw 2 big old tiger sharks. I mean, I finally had an opportunity to get through my GoPro footage, and I got the money shot of a hammerhead, a great hammerhead, and a tiger shark together. And I don't know how common that is, but boy, I haven't seen that very often. And I got that money shot on my GoPro, and I'm getting ready to publish that to the world probably this week. I'm a little bit behind schedule. Some of the videos already showed up, on our YouTube channels and, social media, Facebook and all that kind of stuff. Jerry the Diver Guy posted some of his stuff, I know. And by the way, is anybody missing a GoPro? Jerry, you missing a GoPro? No, well, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Mine mysteriously never showed up, so it must be mine.
Okay, that's incorrect. I think.
Is it a Hero 9?
I don't know what it is, but the dive god texted me. Yeah, Mermaid Rachel wasn't there, so she's saying it was my camera. Sure, he had to be.
Do you realize how special your day is right now? You are on the air with the 3 best people of Scuba Radio.
Well, that's true. Casey the Tobacco Nut, Jerry the Diver Guy, and Mermaid Rachel are connected via the web as the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad right now.
Well, where are the Bopsy twins at?
CJ and Bubble Boy. They were so giddy from last week's adventure in Bimini, they're running a little bit behind. So they're on island time.
There's one running.
They're on island.
Snuck in.
They're on island
Watch your
time,
back.
and it takes a little time to get back into the States. Frame of mind. I was on time, but I got someone has to be responsible. Part of as part of this crew. And
none of us need to be responsible. No.
Well, I didn't include you in that. I just said myself. But
you make us responsible. Bad things happen.
Right. But old Cock Johnson.
It's exciting, but bad things.
Well, Cock Johnson just walked into the studio. CJ is running a little late. Island time, right? Is that your excuse?
No, I spilled coffee on my pants, and I had to turn around and go back home.
Island time.
So he wet himself.
Oh, that old chestnut. Is that the excuse you're using?
Yeah, I peed my pants.
You're losing control of your... Oh, boy. Well, hey, you know what? I almost bought it.
I
Chestnuts roasting on
okay, that's enough.
Coffee.
It's not the holidays, Jerry. Come on. Enough singing.
Could have been worse. Could have been a punami.
Well, I guess. You would have changed your pants for that, too, wouldn't have you? Okay.
50-50. Depends on how bad it was.
All right. So all the fun times that we had in Bimini last week made you incontinent.
I spilled it from my mug.
Incontinent,
right.
Jerry.
Incompetent.
Well, okay, maybe a combination of the two.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, but
I
you
wasn't
made it.
that late. You just started, right?
Yeah, you're not that late.
I made up some time. I got behind every slow moron and caught some bad lights.
Yeah, where's Bubble Boy though?
He's running late.
Did he get back on the plane? Because I didn't.
He texted you, but you never look at those.
Oh, Okay. Yeah. I probably haven't blocked.
He's going to be here as soon as he can.
Right. Okay. That's fine. Like I said, everyone's a
Yeah,
little bit on island
not
time.
while Greg's flying in his private plane.
Well, yeah, that's right. I flew back private.
It's
You
not
guys
his plane.
let the trash, fly commercial back.
Dennis's plane.
Well, yeah, but I know Dennis, and so that makes me somebody.
Now, come on, CJ. You know he's going to refer to Dennis as his pilot.
Right.
He refers
Wow,
to him
what
as
an
his
ass.
chauffeur in the
buddy.
sky. That's right. Captain Dennis flew me back, and you guys had to fly with the lower status folk.
Greg the Dick Master.
Hey, now quit it. That's not appropriate.
How about that?
Uh,
Calling
second
each
that.
other names.
yeah, we can do that after having so
I've
much
been
fun.
nothing but nice to you.
Well, wait, why you guys all got to go to Bimini, and that was pretty much my doing. So I should take full credit and take all
Sure.
the accolades and
That-
everything
that's-
attached to it, right?
Yeah, but don't call us trash.
Well, okay. I
Because
just
we
said
flew back commercial.
no. I'm just saying you
I think he referred
associated
to-
with the trash.
I
That's
think
all.
he referred to everybody on that plane as trash.
Right. Exactly. See.
Wow, you've changed.
So
You used to
that
be a
meant
nice
everybody
guy.
on the plane was trash.
Okay. Maybe not trash is not the right
I
word.
think you meant- I
Losers
think
might
you-
be more appropriate.
Throw an ED on the end of it. Trashed.
Ah, well, there was a little bit of that. Yes. Yeah, they
We
do
could have been
sell
hungover.
plenty of rum there in the Bahamas, and I think our crew, after we were done with the diving, we had a tendency to.
Man, I had to dry
Light it
out.
up.
I had to dry out when I got home. I was like, woo!
That was a good time.
The problem is we were all trying to keep up with Walt DiMartini.
Oh no, I never.
Oh, I
I would
could
never
keep up.
attempt at that.
No, that's not
But
possible.
yeah, I know what you mean.
It was a good
That's,
time, but let's get focused on the diving. We'll talk about the drinking eventually because that'll probably happen on today's show anyway, just to get over the dry heaves.
That's on Just Drunk Radio.
Right. But Jerry the Diver guy, everybody, this was like a bucket list type of dive that we did in Bimini with the Great Hammerhead. So, and I covered this somewhat as everybody was coming up out of the water after the dives. But Jerry, and now that you've had a week to reflect on what you experienced, did it live up to the hype of all these years of wanting to do the Great Hammerheads of Bimini? What do you think?
Yes, it did.
Yep.
And I want to go back, so let's go back now.
Is this an annual occurrence? I would love to go back.
You know what? We don't have to wait a whole year to go back. We can go back anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm in.
All right.
Me too.
Well, book it. Bubble Boy just showed up.
Yeah,
and-
Greg. I've been here for 10 minutes.
Oh.
I was in your bathroom. You might want to call a professional cleaner.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry.
All right.
Get the snake.
Anyway,
Damn it.
he was on Island Time too, I assume.
But
But
you
yeah.
learn not to eat Thai food.
But
on a
you can
Saturday
go
morning?
back and do the Great Hammerheads anytime you like. I just wanted to make that first experience available to
while
you.
they're there.
December and January, right?
Well, no, it goes up through April.
Oh,
April.
really?
Yeah.
November to April.
Yes.
You know, my birthday's in April, and so is Scuba Radio's.
That is true. April Fool's Day is our
But
anniversary and Bubble Boy's birthday. So that
But
meant
Greg, we'll be recovering from New York.
possibly, yes.
Oh,
You got
yeah.
Beneath the Sea dive show in New Jersey. What is it?
Beneath
The
sea.
26th and 27th, that Saturday and Sunday, last Saturday and Sunday of March. Plan to be up there. But, right after that, we could fly straight down to Bimini from New York City. We could fly right down and do the Sharks again for our anniversary and Bubble Boy's birthday. I mean, it was Mermaid Kristen's birthday that we celebrated this last week as well. So maybe we have another Bimini birthday
I like the
bash
sound
with
of that.
Bubble Boy.
Yeah.
There's another B. It's a sign, I tell you.
Or we could go to Stewart's and do the shark dives over there.
With
That
Stewart
was-
Cove. That is a possibility too. Yeah.
I did that dive a long time ago, and it was absolutely fabulous.
Well, the problem we all are going to have is has the statute of limitations expired where the Bahamas will let us back in the country? I'm not so sure because I was there. I saw what happened. Most of which we can't really discuss on the air. But it might sneak out a little
You're
bit
a
over
bad
the next
boy, Greg. You're
couple
a
hours.
bad
So
man.
stick around. More coming up on the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Bula! You'll hear that a lot when you visit Fiji. It's more than a greeting. It's the spirit of this friendly country. With 333 islands, white sand beaches, and year-round tropical warmth, it's hard not to feel happy at this exceptional dive destination known as the soft coral capital of the world. Fiji Airways has a modern fleet of aircraft to take you to Fiji in style and at great prices. Contact your travel agent now or go to FijiAirways.com and plan your Fijian dive adventure. That's FijiAirways.com.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of ScubaRadio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures ScubaRadio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Hey, baby, what's going down?
Later, nerd.
Are you lacking with the ladies?
Nope.
Enhance your scuba superpowers with a new ScubaRadio hat.
Wow, nice hat.
Just picked it up at ScubaRadio.com.
Buy 2 ScubaRadio hats and get free shipping.
Need a dive buddy, sexy?
Always. And I got a Scuba Radio hat for you, too.
New ScubaRadio hats are now available at ScubaRadio.com.
So cool.
Order yours today, or stay a loser.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Bimini is a friendly, courteous, laid-back island. We've always been a place where open arms to strangers, and that's why we had so many notable characters to visit our island over the years.
Come to Bimini, oh please, come to Bimini. Come to Bimini, oh please, come to Bimini. Bimini, everyone's in the sun. Bimini, everyone's having fun.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. Yeah, you know, that's the Calypsonians. And we were listening to their tunes there at the End of the World Saloon there in Bimini. Famous bar. And actually, I did a little research when I got back about the bar. Not only was it featured a little bit in Silence of the Lambs, or right there on the street in front of it, the last scene of the Silence of the Lambs movie was filmed. I guess the End of the World Saloon might have gotten its name from Ernest Hemingway. I saw a video on YouTube about that. I don't know. We'll have to ask the dive god if he knows if that's true or not, because we got him on the line right now. Mr. Neil Watson with us on Scuba Radio. Neil, how you doing, buddy? What's going on?
Gregory, I'm doing fantastic, man, other than I wish we were back in Bimini.
Exactly. Well, you could be, for all I know. I mean,
not yet. Maybe tomorrow or Monday. I don't know.
Right. Well, what about that? Is the End of the World Saloon there in Bimini, was that named by Ernest Hemingway? Because I saw some video online that said that he considered Bimini to be the end of the world, and then, you know, ended up going to that bar, I guess, back in the day, along with the Complete Angler and Big Game Club and all the you know, that was Ernest Hemingway's hangout for many, many years back in when he was writing all those books and stuff, right?
Well, I can't confirm that, but I'm certainly going to take that story and use it.
Sure, exactly. Let's not let the truth get in the way of a good story. That's we never would do that.
Actually, the end of the world at one point in time was owned by a buddy of mine called Crazy Greg. Greg Newell. He owned that, and he owned the Red Lion Pub, which was down near the Big Game.
Right.
And he owned the nightclub to go to for spring breakers on the beach back in the heyday. He had a place called the Button, and he used to go over there and with all of the bartenders and staff from the club, like once a year, and also once a year he would bring everybody from Bimini over, including the Clipsonians, the band.
Yeah.
And he would have Bimini night at the Button on the beach. Big deal.
Big deal. Crazy Greg, not to be confused with Crazy Old Greg. That's a totally different guy.
That's a different Crazy Greg.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a unique place, the End of the World Saloon there in Bimini, and there's so many cool places like that that you can go to. You know, we didn't talk about it much, and I didn't personally get over there myself, but the Dolphin House was another place that we were talking about going to that I don't think we ever got around to. We got distracted by booze and rum and stuff that I think that derailed our plans to a certain extent, give us a reason to go back, you know? So we celebrated a birthday there, Neil, and, you know, we were just talking, Bubble Boy has a birthday in April 1st, which corresponds with Scuba Radio's anniversary as well. Maybe we have to plan another trip. These guys are always wanting to go back. Well, is it allowed to go back that quick?
Day in Bimini.
That's right.
Any better.
Yes, we can get a little foolish, I think, again, give us another reason to head back that way. But if you want to go, don't wait on us. Just call up Neil Watson, look him up online, neilwatson.com or Bimini Scuba Center, and they can set you up, get you over there, tell you where to stay and all that kind of good stuff, and dive with the great hammerheads. Now, the dive that we did, Neil, where we had the hammerhead shark and the tiger shark together, I got my footage. It's amazing. I couldn't believe I actually had video of the hammerhead and the tiger right next to each other.
That's amazing.
That was really cool, and that's pretty unique, even for you guys.
Married.
Yeah, maybe they might have been interspecies, you know, some freaking going on for all I know.
Yeah, because normally when the tiger comes in, the hammerheads like have a tendency to kind of like distance themselves. So to get two in a frame is pretty rare.
Yeah, I mean, it was in that transition period. They were definitely taken off, but great hammerhead came in as the tiger shark was starting to come in and explore the bait. Another great hammerhead came in and said, "Hey, well, I got one more bite. Sorry, then you can have it." You know, he wanted one more shot at the buffet, and then I got them together. I was like, "Wow, that is so cool." And you know, and I don't think that's even that rare for what you guys offer, is it? Or is it? What do you think?
It's pretty unusual to get those two species together in one frame. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like having Jerry the Diver Guy and Casey on the same dive. That hardly ever happens, and usually we don't encourage such activity.
No, that's exactly what makes the dive special.
Okay, well, you know, they shared a room.
Another level of fun.
They shared a room there at the big game. So, you know, I mean, what happens in Bahamas and Bimini shows up on Scuba Radio. So that's fine. And we encourage it. And
you're
we felt
very close to having your cigar cut off.
hey, now. He's talking about a real cigar, right?
Oh, God.
Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Okay, thank God. I was getting worried there for a sec.
Well, the end of the world was cigar friendly for us. I don't know if they normally are, but when the dive guide is there
are no rules.
I think out the window.
I think there was some other stuff smoked there too.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I've never seen anybody roll their own cigar, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It was awfully thin. It wasn't a very beefy cigar
More like
either.
a blunt.
Oh, okay. Anyway, you know, it's the Bahamas, and
I got a picture of that, by the way.
I know. I saw
oh,
it.
Jer.
Oh no.
Oh, Jer got video.
Of course he did.
All right. Yeah, and I did throw out the to the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad if anybody was missing a GoPro, Neil, and they all said yes.
Yeah.
So I'd say just keep it.
I just realized that it was mine.
Okay, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
I forgot
the
I
truth.
lost it.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you looked at the footage on this missing GoPro that showed up at your house, or no?
I don't know how. I don't know how, but I'll have somebody figure it out for me.
All right. Well, it could be Jerry or Casey's, and that video, you know, who knows what they got on the camera. So you might end up blackmailing them and getting more cigars out of the tobacco nut if you're lucky.
That'll work.
Yeah. But yeah, we had such a great time, Neil. Thanks again for making that happen. Really appreciate it. And the statute of limitations. How long do we got to wait before we're allowed back in the Bahamas? You figure? Did we?
If anytime you're with me, they allow you back in. Otherwise, probably never.
Okay, so you don't need a passport. You just need Neil Watson when it comes to the Scuba Radio crew.
There you go.
And then you get away with anything.
The problem with traveling with Neil,
yeah,
is for you to go 40 feet down the road. 30 people are going to stop you and go, "Hey, Neil!"
Hey, Neil, that's right. Yeah. Everybody knows him, just like we know him. He's kind of a big deal, that Neil Watson, the dive god in Bimini, among other things. All right, we got more coming up. Stay close to the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
Do you have a message or a product that you'd like to share with the diving world? Well, look no further than Scuba Radio. Just like you, thousands of diving enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to ScubaRadio.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Bimini has some absolutely outstanding scuba diving. It's situation between the Gulf Stream just being a mile and a half offshore to the west and the mangroves and Bahama Bank off to the east. Very, very few places can match up to what Bimini offers.
On Bimini Island, oh, Bimini Island, join the rhythm grapevine. On Bimini Island, oh, Bimini Island, join the rhythm grapevine.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master, along with a rake and scrape band. That's what that is, rake and scrape. Because they take a rake and then they scrape it. And that's what they do in the Bahamas for some of the bands, like the Calypsonians, among others.
Oh, as an instrument.
Yes.
Instead of like a washboard.
I don't think it's a rake. I don't remember. But they just get a bunch of...
Could be a hoe.
Could be a hoe. There's plenty of hoes there that they could work with. But
God,
yeah.
I set you up.
And I just sit there and let them marinate for a while, right? That's how it works.
Set you up. I pitch them and you knock them. Ground rule double.
Throw them down right down there into the toilet.
Dig out a single.
Okay, if you say so. All right, yeah. CJ and Bubble Boy are in the studio. Scuba Radio, Scuba Squad connected via the web, made up of Jared the Diver Guy, Casey the Tobacco Nut, who were both in Bimini, and then Mermaid Rachel, who was not. And I know she was bumming.
Not.
She was she was working. She was
probably
being
holding her breath.
responsible.
Boy, she missed out.
She was, I think. Did you ever make it
know.
over to the Springs after your event? We'll get to the event in a minute, but did you get to do your free diving or what, Rachel?
Yeah, we actually got to hit up quite a few springs. So we went to Orange Grove, which is near Peacock Springs.
Yeah.
And then I checked out the Blue Hole near Itchituckney. And then what was the last one? Troy Springs. So we hit up 3 different springs in a few days. Stayed at like this cat sanctuary that was really quirky. I managed not to take home a cat. So it was overall a very good success.
Okay.
Nobody say it. Listen,
Stop.
I
Just
wanted
stop.
to go, but Greg was like not into it.
Yeah, I came back to a mess. Casey is
Casey,
holding
are you
his mouth.
okay?
No, he's.
I am now.
Okay.
What happened?
Break and scrape, Casey. Break and scrape.
I had to block a comment.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's
Wise.
He's about 30 seconds behind. That's okay.
Unlike Barry.
He's filling in for Barry today, and Barry's.
Well, that's the difference between
Oh.
Casey and Barry. Casey will exercise restraint.
Yes. And Barry will just blurt it out there, but it'll usually be about 30 seconds to a minute late.
Oh, you're being generous.
Okay.
About 5 minutes.
The only reason he has COVID, that's why he's not with us today.
Again, I think that's his hobby.
You think? Might be.
Painting his house in COVID.
I used to collect
Can you
stamps.
blame
Now
him?
I contract COVID.
Right.
I hope he has all his shots.
You know
That'll
what, though?
Protect him.
What's that?
That could be that could be an excuse. You could just tell somebody if you didn't want to do. I'd love to, but I got COVID.
Yeah.
And they would never
Oh,
question
no.
it.
Look what you've done. He's got the guitar.
Right.
Oh,
Well, I can explain. So
He's gonna
gonna
serenade.
Barry
he's
the
gonna
bugger, he's
serenade
got
Barry.
COVID again. Barry the bugger's got COVID again.
Don't
We
laugh,
wish he
because
would have come out
we'll
with
wind
his
up with it.
friend. But Barry's got the COVID again.
Amazing.
You're welcome. Or I apologize.
When's that
Never
going to be on
remote.
Spotify?
Never had one lesson.
Can't hardly tell. Okay, maybe you can.
That's the
All
point.
right, yeah, got it. Anyway, yeah. So feel free to abuse him since he's a little under the weather. The thing I did tell him, I said, well, Barry, you could do the show because you sound a little more sexier than normal. But then I thought, nah, that'll be a bad idea. That'll set off Jerry. And
Hey, baby, what's going down?
right. So I let him take the day off.
What's
Yeah.
going down?
What's going on?
See, now Jerry's getting bummed out. That isn't the turn I wanted to take
I'm
on the
fine.
show today.
I'm
Okay,
fine.
all right. Well, you have Casey to console you today, so you two do you. Anyway,
Okay.
back to Rachel. She got to free dive. Didn't adopt a cat. Is that right there by the springs, or some kind of cat sanctuary that you guys stumbled into after your free diving? Is that what happened, or what?
Yeah. So if anybody gets the chance, it's actually a 501c3. They just started it, and it's a cat sanctuary within 10 minutes drive of Itchituckney Springs.
Huh.
And you can stay in like a little yurt, and they give you
Wait,
the opportunity
you can stay
to
in a
hang out
little
with
what?
cats.
Yogurt?
Like
Yeah,
a
that's-
yurt, like a big.
A yurt.
It's like glamping. So
Glamping.
like a nice.
Cramping.
Yeah. So
Got
it's
it.
like. And
No.
it's going to be one of the most affordable places to stay in the area. But yeah, you can go and hang out with cats, and if you like one, you can adopt it.
Okay. All right.
Spay or neuter your pets.
You want to add that to the list, guys?
Surplus breeding.
Who wants to add to that one to the list? CJ?
I'm not really a cat guy.
No? Okay.
I
All
like
right.
them. They don't like me.
Well,
I'm more of a
Because
dog
those were
person.
so sweet.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it when they stay off my car.
okay. Well, there's that, I guess. Yeah. So, but look, it's something you can, throw into the mix if you want to go over to the Florida Springs. So
you have a cat, Greg.
I have a cat.
You can
Yeah,
get
of
him a
course.
little friend.
Actually, his
Well.
cat has him.
No, well, and it's a female too. So
Yeah, she.
it's a female cat.
What's that mean?
Well, you don't just call them cats. You call them.
Kitties?
Oh.
Yes. That's what you call them.
Here, kitty,
You're
kitty,
digging
kitty.
Hey.
deep, Greg.
Or
Anyway,
after
okay.
a couple of rums, here, kitty, kitty,
Yes.
kitty, cuddly little kitty.
So Rachel, though, you went and you were just free diving, or what were you doing over in the springs?
Yeah, so I got to meet up with some friends. So we went to just kind of explore. I've been in the process of like scouting out new dive sites across the U.S. for free diving.
Yeah.
And part of that includes the beautiful Florida Springs. And so checked out some new ones with friends. And then, just generally had a good time. Ran into some people that were doing an underwater photo shoot, and they're like, come take pictures. And so I ended up in a dress at the end of the time, like got out of the wetsuit into a dress and was like posing underwater. Yeah.
Ah, sweet.
So it was pretty fun.
Well, she's a free dive instructor. I was tempted to come over there, but I came back to home base after our trip to Bimini, and I had some fires I had to put out. It was a mess.
Yeah, Greg was invited.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, don't hold your breath.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I gotta
Barry.
go. I gotta go.
Yeah, that's enough. That'll be enough out of you. He's going to get a demerit. He's in timeout, at least for our next segment. Anyway, Rachel, but you had fun. But, this time of year is high season for the springs because it's at constant 72 or 74 degrees, but that's still pretty daggone chilly. What about for you?
Yeah, it was definitely chilly. Like, there was one day we were trying to fit 3 springs in, which was a little bit ambitious.
Yeah.
So woke up at 6:30 in the morning and dragged my friend out of the yurt. Was like, all right, it's time to go. And she's like, but the steam was coming up off of the springs.
Yeah.
And the gate wasn't even open yet. So moral of the story, definitely check for when the park opens. Because
You could have slept in that day.
What
Could
was
have
that?
Thanks, slept in. Yeah, thanks
You
for
could
that.
have slept in.
That's what we
Yeah,
call
no.
observation.
That's contributing.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Yeah. So we were trying to hit up the springs at we wanted to be in the water by 7:45 a.m. and the gate
Yeah.
wasn't even open till 8. So
Right.
Definitely check the time and bring cash. That was the other life hack because
Right.
Unless you have the springs pass, you're going to have to pay cash for entry into the park.
Yeah. Well, your yurt, was that attached to a car or a van or something, or was that a tent? What was it?
Yeah, it's like so if you think about glamping, like it's more than like a Walmart tent or something like that. It's like a fancier one. They had air mattresses in there with like lots and lots of blankets over it so the cats wouldn't, accidentally claw a hole in your air mattress. And the cats would come and cuddle with you. So
Wow.
at one point in time there was a cat named Sweetie Petey, and in the middle of the night he came in because there was one day where it was like 37 degrees that night.
Yeah. it
And
was a bit
so I
chilly.
ended up with a cat under the covers cuddling me. So it was super
Did it
cute.
smell like ammonia?
I don't know. I can't smell.
Did it mark its territory? Is that what you're saying? I don't think so. She wouldn't allow that
You're
kind of
filling
thing.
in the blanks.
Okay. All right. Cutie Petey. What was it?
I don't know. Ask her.
We'll find out. I thought I heard Barry called Casey that in Bimini, but I think it was a totally different thing. More coming up. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
If you want to be a member of the Scuba Squad, you have to be smart.
I could be in the Scuba Squad?
Well, sure. All you have to do is work hard. And don't tell a soul about the Scuba Squad, because then everybody's going to want to join.
I woke up this morning with a big old smile. And I've been thinking it might stay with me a while. Today is all about the things I love to do. One of them is spending time down in the blue. Gonna pack up all our scuba gear, find a spot where the water's clear. Call up all my diving friends. Plan is getting wet, let's see who's in. Man, it feels so good to be alive. I just wanna die. I just wanna die.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. That's Scuba Cowboy. I just want to dive. Check it out, thescubacowboy.com. I know he's kicking himself for not being with us in Bimini last week, but he had gigs.
He had gigs with Sweet Baby Cabbage.
Right. It's baby spinach. Come on.
Right.
Yeah, cabbage. That's really mean to compare her to a cabbage when it's a healthy vegetable. Anyway.
Are you saying she's not healthy?
Sweet baby sauerkraut.
Quiet.
Oh, God.
All right, CJ and Bubble Boy in the studio, connected via the web, Scuba Radio, Scuba Squad. Casey the Tobacco Nut, Jerry the Diver Guy. We got Mermaid Rachel, and also Vinny Two Tanks just joined in. Welcome, Vinny. How are you, buddy? What's going on?
I'm fine. How you guys doing?
We're great. We're basking in the afterglow of diving with great hammerheads and tiger sharks. How about you? How miserable is your life today? No,
I just took a long bike ride and had a swim. So
well, no,
he's having a great day.
Yeah,
Dick.
but we were in Bimini last week, so we get to say "suck it, loser" to someone like Vinny.
Yeah, I deserve it.
Well,
you know what? He's been to a lot of places.
No,
though, so he's got
Rachel
nothing to worry
Rachel
about.
is feeling sad for Vinny But Rachel, just understand, I can say this to Vinny. I didn't say it to you. So
I know you were nice to me.
Right. I can be mean to Vinny.
There's a reason for that.
Yes. She's a mermaid. And if you're mean to mermaids, they will, come to you in your sleep and bite your head off.
Thrash you with their tail.
Something like that.
I wouldn't do that.
No?
I'm not a malicious mermaid. No, I'm not a malicious mermaid.
Okay. All right. Well, that's even better. But I'm not going to take the choice. Yeah. All right. Simple enough. But Vinny, yeah, you missed it, man. Did you hear the show last week, or you didn't bother?
Not yet,
did you?
but I did get it. Somebody sent me a few photos, and I did take a look. It was
pretty
impressive.
We had a great time, man. And when you see it, you're gonna be so mad at us, because we had an amazing time. Not to make you feel terrible, but I'm just trying to make you feel terrible for not going. Tutu Tom had a great time. Mark the Shark. These were all bucket list type things, man. You should have been there, Vinny. Now, do you feel bad about yourself?
I was just there like a month and a half before.
I cry already. That's right.
Tutu Tom was beside himself.
Greg, you're trying to be the scuba version of Barbara Walters, aren't you? Make your guests cry.
Yes, that would be a new. That's like my New Year's resolution, to see if I can make someone cry on the show for 2023. So, Vinny,
you could just break a bottle of Zacapa in front of me, and I'll cry.
Okay, that's all it would take.
Done.
Yes, I don't know. I know Vinny's. He kind of has nerves of steel. I think he'll be hard to break.
Yeah.
It makes him a good dive buddy, because he's calm under pressure, and that's what
every
you want.
dive boat I go on, I usually never skip. I do all the dives, even the night dives.
Does all the dives. He's hardcore. He's right there with you.
Well done, boy. You got tits of steel.
Excuse me?
I don't want to repeat that.
Okay, yeah, you probably shouldn't. But anyway, I'm glad you're with us, Vinny. And
thank you.
I wish you should have been there last week, but we're talking about going back.
But there are more.
There are
When's
more.
the next one?
There's more trips. We may go back for another birthday bash for Bubble Boy.
Tomorrow's never promised.
Well, that's true. Yeah, sometimes you got to grab that ring when it's available, and go dive with your buddies.
Maybe Brittany can get me the special invisible cake.
Excuse me?
What?
Brittany can get me the invisible cake like she got Kristen.
Is Bubble Boy having a
I don't know.
stroke?
I have a urinal cake for you.
I don't remember the invisible cake.
Exactly, because there wasn't one.
There was no birthday cake. Well, we figured we didn't need one, because in Bimini they had rum, Bubble Boy. So we were like, hey, did we get a cake? Who cares? Let's just get another bottle of rum. They won't know the difference.
I wanted to get her a cake, and Greg's like, hell with it.
Right. I was like, if you want, we'll get a pack of ho-hos.
Get a pack of ho-hos and pour some rum on it.
Exactly.
Or king dongs.
And, she was right there when I
ding
did
dongs
it.
out.
Well,
yeah, ding dongs would work.
King Kong or ding dongs, I don't know, whatever snack cake of your choice. But we didn't bother.
I offered her a birthday cigar.
Yeah, that's a euphemism for something that's very inappropriate.
Casey, come on. You
like
know
ding
better.
dongs and ho-hos.
Casey, do better. Do better.
That's why she's not on the show today, Casey. Thank you.
Damn it,
We
Casey.
go from King Kong ding dongs to ho.
All right, just quiet. That's enough.
cigars.
That'll be enough.
No, let him do it. It's funny when he says it.
Is it? Okay. Well, we got that to look forward to. All right, yeah, but we won't be able to go back to Bimini soon enough. I think everybody agrees with me on that.
Oh, I didn't want to leave. I was like, oh, man.
The thing is, you can do so much in such a short amount of time there. That's what's really cool, because it's so easy to get to Bimini. 42-mile run between.
You can walk
Fort
across
Lauderdale.
it in 10 minutes.
Almost. It's a short flight for sure.
When they hit 6,000 foot, it's like prepare for landing.
No, I mean walk across the island from east to west.
The flight's fast. Yeah.
700 feet, they said.
Well, you mean to a different Bahamian island?
No, walk across the island.
Yeah.
The island's like 1 mile wide
It's
by
a
how many
very
miles long?
small
I see what you're
island,
saying.
7 miles
Greg.
long, 700 feet wide.
700
Correct.
feet wide.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, up the hill
Never
where we were
mind.
staying.
Yeah, you guys were on
for
the west
big
side,
game.
and we were on the east side in the resort, and I could get up and watch the sunrise, and then at night go over to your Airbnb and watch the sunset.
That was
Up the hill.
you?
Oh,
Yeah, that was me.
that
No,
sounds
you
nice.
guys were on the west side. We were on the east side. No. Yeah, we were on the east side.
Sunset in the west, and that's when we would see
We
the
were
sun.
on the east side.
Yeah, so we were on the west, CJ, up on the hill. Yeah.
Yeah,
Overlooking a
that's
beautiful
right.
beach
That's right.
on
That's
both
right.
sides.
Beautiful beach. Yeah.
Is Greg starting to rub off on you, CJ? You don't know which way you're
I'm
going?
not rubbing on anybody, so I don't care. Just not my thing. I'm not judging.
Sure.
But yeah. By the way, Kristen took some amazing mermaid shots that Jerry the Diver guy helped with, but I haven't seen any of them yet.
I was going to say we've yet to see.
Where are they?
I did the shots, Greg.
Okay, where are they?
Pictures.
Where are they?
Jerry
They're
took
on
the
her
shots.
phone.
Oh,
You know,
boy.
she likes to edit them and
Right.
all that color
Okay.
stuff.
All
she'll
she
get 'em.
did was sit on a pile of rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
I'm
sit
so
on a
envious.
Well, I'll tell you, the only person who's seen my GoPro footage has been CJ. And,
Thank you.
And what do you think of what
No,
I
you
got?
uploaded it to the cloud,
Ooh, a
to
little
the
private
outlet.
Oh, that's true.
viewing.
Yeah.
The clips,
You
individual
got
clips.
the video of me laying on the beach.
Yeah,
not
but-
Kristen. What's wrong with you?
No, I did
Yes,
not.
you did. I saw
Little
it.
No.
private viewing.
No,
there,
they.
Greg.
No, CJ, I sent you the edit. The raw footage was
Right.
put up there.
That
but,
was awesome.
But
Oh,
the
was
edit,
it censored?
it is.
No,
it's edited.
he put together a couple clips.
Couple minutes of the highlights,
Just
the money
best
shots.
stuff. Yeah, that was really cool.
And I got to come up with some stuff to put behind it for people to listen to. Like I actually went to Chat GPT to write a shark song. Almost did it.
Oh, Jesus.
And then
Yeah, don't do that, Greg.
I started asking a bunch of prompts and write a song about shark diving with the Scuba
That's
Radio
lazy,
Scuba
Greg.
Squad. And it started coming out pretty good, and then it just took a turn and just turned into crap.
Must kill all humans.
Yeah. And I was like, this isn't going to capture the spirit I'm trying to achieve. So I went back to square one and yeah, terminate. Right, that's what I did. I terminated the idea, but I got another idea, and then we'll release it next week. So the footage that I shot, hopefully we'll have a new little song to share with the world. You've been warned, okay? Hour 2 of Scuba Radio's on deck. We got some more shark news for you. That's coming up. Stay close.
From Captain Ron to Jock Cousteau, they all love Scuba Radio. On the boat or down below, if you want to stay in the know. If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio. Let's go!
Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio.
This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.
Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling your radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome to Hour 2 of the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master, along with CJ and Bubble Boy in the studio, connected via the web, Scuba Radio Scuba Squad. which is made up of Casey the Tobacco Nut, Jerry the Diver Guy, Mermaid Rachel, and Vinny Two Tanks is the crew attached to the show right now. Now, last week we were in Bimini with the Sharks, had 4 great hammerheads, 13-footer, I think was the biggest one. They figure maybe even 14. Then we had 2 tiger sharks that were probably in the 10-foot range at least.
Yeah.
They're big old animals. And it was just an amazing time. And just go figure that you go do a trip like that. And I come back and the news is all over. I mean, sharks are literally, it was one of the busiest shark news weeks I have ever seen.
Yeah.
And because I don't know what's going on, but a few big stories in the diving world. One being that Guadalupe Island in Mexico has been shut down to cage diving. They've just shut the island down all the way down to nothing. And I'm not sure what's going on there exactly, other than the stories I've read. I've seen a few, videos and things. I'm not sure if the dive industry is going to get behind this at all, but it's unfortunate because the Mexican government has listened to some environmental researchers, I guess, because it was shut down during COVID. And as opposed to opening it back up to shark diving, I guess the researchers said, no, we need to shut this down and not allow this to happen. We want to do some other, environmental projects or something. So I haven't really heard what the argument for closing it down is, other than they want to do some research and they think the shark diving is affecting whatever research they want to do.
Is that legal to do in California? Because somebody could just competition, just move it a little bit farther north. You should be good.
No, it's the island of Guadalupe, which is owned by Mexico.
Right, but I'm saying someone else could do a cage diving operation. Maybe.
No, they can't. They can't. Not at Guadalupe.
Not in Guadalupe.
Well, that's where the sharks go to the island.
They don't go.
No.
They have great whites in California, don't they?
No, they do. You can go to the Farallon Islands. You go to a couple other places, but you can't go to, Guadalupe. What's unique is the sharks congregate there and feed on the tuna that circle the island.
And the seals.
And the seals, right, exactly. So it's a unique place in the world.
I wanted to do that.
Yeah, we did it years ago, and, they've been asking us to go back. A couple of the operators that I know that were running those charters had asked us many times to go back. And
I didn't know that.
Yes.
God.
Every dive show, I'm always seeing my shark diving friends out there in Guadalupe.
If it opens up, we need to do it before they close it again.
Yeah, I did not see this coming, to be honest. I didn't know there was a big controversy, and I don't know.
Well, I heard the risk was that the environmentalists were throwing cases of can openers out to the sharks.
No, that's not true. That's rumor and innuendo, which is pretty typical of Casey the Tobacco Nut. But no, I'm not real sure what their gripe is about it, because it brings in a ton of money to Mexico, because it's such a popular dive for the industry and everything now. And there's several operators that were running trips, not to mention the fact that Discovery Channel goes there quite often, because it's one of the few places in the world where you can see great whites in clear water. That's what's really unique about Guadalupe. Not only it's clear, it's usually a little warmer too, compared to like the Farallon Islands or South Africa, where it might be a little bit more murky.
Cold water.
It's colder generally, and the visibility isn't as good. Now, in Guadalupe, the visibility is like in what we experience in Bimini. Oh, they got really, really, you can have amazing visibility, which makes for incredible pictures and video.
You know what that means? As far as the Guadalupe great white cage diving goes, we're all losers and we can all suck it.
Well, no, I've been, so I'm not in that.
Oh, of course you went.
That's right.
Yourself.
Yeah, years ago, it was one of my first big shark adventures, and we went on a 5-day trip, and it wasn't the great whites that was the most challenging. It was the first ScubaRadio trip where we actually had 4 mermaids in tow.
Oh yeah.
And I swore after that trip I would never take 4 mermaids on a trip ever again.
Why?
That was too much mermaid. Too much mermaid.
2 mermaids?
Yeah, 2. No, we had 4. Then 2 is good. 3 is okay. We can still.
What are
manage
you?
it. But when you get to 4 mermaids, you've kind of crossed the threshold of sanity.
Depends on the mermaids too.
Well, it does, I guess. Yeah, that's true.
All it takes is one.
I wouldn't
insane
totally rule it out, but at the time, it was the first trip that we had. We had 4 mermaids in tow, and we were going with the idea of conducting an experiment, which was to have the girls do their mermaid thing in one of the cages with the great whites, because we had never done that before. We didn't know if anybody had ever done it before, and at the time, I figured, well, maybe we need 4 because we may only come back with 2 or 3. So
always carry a spare.
Right.
Yeah.
It always works good if you tow them behind the boat.
Well, they usually anchor, and that's how they did it. And, it's kind of the girls at the time was Nikki, Denise, Abby, and Kelly, the Brazilian swimsuit model.
That's 3 crazy ones, and I won't say who
one
they are.
Crazier?
Yeah.
No, one of them is sane, and you know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
The other 3 are a little
All right,
nuts.
if you say
Hey,
so.
what other Stark stories are there?
What other what?
Stark, you said there's a bunch of Stark stories this week. Give me another one.
Well, I haven't finished this one yet, Vinny. You're
sorry.
jumping the gun.
I thought we were done.
He's
No.
Vinny, we got to ring it out.
moved
bro.
on.
No, I was just going to say what we did.
We've
with
lost him.
I was trying to transition us into another story.
Yes, no. Let me finish this one, and then we'll move on to the other ones. But
When it's
no.
your turn to host, you can do that.
Yeah. It could be next week. The way this one's going.
Guest host.
Anyway, no, we took them out there, and the idea was to put them in the water, see what would happen, and of course it was up to girls. Would they even want to do it? Because I was a little hesitant. I was like, they'll be in a cage, but I'm not sure how these big old great whites that are like 18, 20 feet long, how they will react seeing a mermaid. I mean, because the tail looks, eerily familiar to the bluefin tuna tail that they were munching on in the area, trying to grab. And so, but they were like, yeah, we're down. We're going to do it. And so I said, okay. So the crew helped them out, and I got in the cage first, and then a couple of girls got in the cage in their mermaid outfit. It was cold still, even though it's much warmer compared to other great white areas. But
Turkey's done.
when we got when we got down, at the time when I was in the cage, there were literally 8 great whites circling the boat, 8 of them. And there'd be like 2, together, 3 in a pack, and they were cruising around in a circle around the cage and around the boat. So we had a lot of activity that day, and we got the girls in the cage, and I was filming, and sure enough, as soon as they got in the water, all the great whites dissipated. They took off, nowhere to be seen. And I was like, oh my God, the mermaids scared the sharks away.
Now, did they chum them
Oh
in,
yeah,
or they just show up?
they're baited in. That's
Okay,
what they do.
was the bait still in the water?
Yeah, bait was still there. The mermaids freaked out the great whites.
Wow.
That was our scientific. That was a scientific study that we conducted in Guadalupe, and maybe that's why we haven't been back. They were like, "That's not science." Come on, it could be.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer, and Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Taric is the best, most intuitive, and reliable wristwatch-sized dive computer on the market. Check it out in the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures Adventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explore Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit exploreventures.com. That's exploreventures.com.
Scuba action star Mike Scott is back in a new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys, Reefs Under Pressure. From author Eric Douglas comes the one that started it all. Listen as Mike deals with submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface.
Download Cayman Cowboys or Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, and audible.com.
ScubaRadio.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Hi, I'm Manny. I'm your dive master lead in Aquacat, and you hear Scuba Radio.
Yeah, wait, you're the lead dive master on the Aquacat? What are you?
Yes, sir, I'm the lead dive master.
Okay, do it again, one more time.
You kidding?
No.
Okay, guys, I'm Manny. I'm your dive master lead in Aquacat, and you hear Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
The what? Okay. Hi guys, I'm Manny. I'm a dive instructor in Aquacat, and you're listening to Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to
The world's first radio show devoted to dive. You kidding or what? You did the translation.
Drew?
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
I can do it slow.
Okay, do it slow. Yeah.
The world's first
radio
show devoted to diving. Devoted. You know what, guys?
To diving.
For the Spanish speakers, la mejor radio estación de radio devota de lo que es el buceo.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving, but I think he said it better.
You beat that poor guy up, man.
Well, no.
He did good enough.
Yeah,
My
look.
God.
I mean, he'll probably be hosting the show next week. Because I'm not moving it along fast enough, according to Vinny.
That'd be an improvement.
Yeah.
Vinny, did you miss? We just hit 420.
420. Oh, I like 420.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. It's not 420 where you are.
Oh, that's right. He's left coast time.
It's 420 somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Okay, so
Just like a happy hour somewhere.
we are talking sharks, and they closed down Guadalupe Island. I told you about our little, science experiment with the mermaids. That's what we did back in the day, and they just haven't been back. They've asked us to come back, but we just haven't been able to, and now we may not be able to at all.
Late.
Yeah, they've closed down the island to shark diving. And you know what? The kicker to this whole thing, by the way, on Guadalupe Island, fishing will still be allowed.
What?
Yeah.
That's
how
no sense.
ass backwards this stuff is. So, I'm sure there's a little bit more to this story that will be uncovered over the next few weeks.
Proper bribes have not been made.
Yeah. It's a very unfortunate situation because, the kicker to that, not just the absurdity that they're going to allow fishing, but one of the concerns is that the shark cage operators of Guadalupe Island kind of police the waters to a certain extent to make sure, another fisherman doesn't come in and harvest all the great whites for their fins or something, So it's not like, Mexico is going to run interference or monitor the island if there's nobody there. It's like 150 miles away from the nearest shoreline.
They
or
only
something.
have like one ship in their Navy. Come on.
Maybe. I don't know what it is, but, we'll monitor it and hopefully they'll, change their tune in Mexico and allow this activity to go because it is a pretty cool tool, when it comes to educating people about sharks I mean, we learned that mermaids are higher up the food chain than the great white. There may be other, studies that are a little bit more, scientific and that kind of stuff that they do. And, it's a cool thing to see them up close and personal like that. It's pretty unique.
Funny, that was Vinny's nickname in college.
What's that?
Cool
What was that?
Tool.
Cool Tool. Vinny Two Tanks.
Hey.
All right. Well, let's move on to other shark news that maybe Vinny will like.
Yeah, move it along.
Two-headed sharks. Have you seen one, Vinny? Have you seen a two-headed shark?
No,
I'm
I have not.
commenting.
I said Vinny, Casey.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
No, I
that's
have not.
Not since that peyote trip to the desert.
right. Casey, have you seen one? Since you
I
want
was going to talk about the peyote trip, but never mind.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, supposedly two-headed sharks are on the rise. And there was a report this week saying that there's more sightings of two-headed sharks. They really do exist.
Fukushima.
I don't know.
Watch your mouth, sir.
Yeah,
Are they
exactly.
in
Can't say that on the radio, Bubble Boy.
Are they in Guatemala?
I don't know where they are, but they're finding them more often is what they think. And they think it has something to do with overfishing. One of the theories, whether you believe this or not, is that the shark stocks have dwindled to a point where there's a lot of inbreeding going on in the shark world. And because of that, they're having more of these defective, two-headed sharks, which are basically like conjoined twins that don't separate. And, they can trace, maybe they're trying to trace it back to inbreeding of sharks. There's not enough diversity in the shark DNA for them to populate like they used to or something. That's
They're
one
getting
theory.
ready for the new Sharknado movie, Greg.
Well, you'd think this was like a hoax, but it actually is a thing, I guess. The other theory is that, they're just, it's a fake story and they're getting ready for the next Sharknado.
Now, if you saw a two-headed shark on your dive, when you came back to tell your friends, would you tell them I saw two sharks or a shark?
Good
One
question.
and a half.
One and a
One and a
half.
half.
Is that technically?
I would say two. I would go big. Go big.
Hey, if you
You're gonna
came
lie.
across a two-headed shark,
Yeah.
how would you figure out which way to swim to get away?
Oh,
Well,
you can't get away anyway. They're fast enough, but
Well, I don't know. They got two heads now. They're probably slower.
Well, if you
Maybe
swim in
get
a
back.
zigzag pattern,
They're probably
that's alligators.
Swim slower, but they got more teeth. So I don't know. There's maybe it cancels cancels out.
They can't decide which way to go.
Right. Exactly.
I wonder if there would be like a
That's your
dominant
chance.
shark head versus a non-dominant shark head. Like if there's one that always makes the decisions, the other's just along for the ride.
Right. Let's just say it wasn't a shark. It was Casey and Jerry, and they were
Read my
conjoined.
mind.
Who would be in charge in that scenario? What? CJ, what do you think?
Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when they, would see like they're walking around and they see a hot dog, who's going to take control over the other? Who's going to win out? Who's going to be the dominant one? Casey or Jerry?
I have a perfect scenario for
Yeah.
that. We paid $50 for the golf cart. How come we were walking everywhere and you were riding around in the golf cart?
What is he talking about?
I know.
I don't know.
There was two carts.
He's going back to Bimini talking about our golf cart,
We were
our
the one.
transportation.
We got stranded that one night. We were the ones without the cart.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You guys took off down to the beach, and Neil, Greg, and I were like, "Where are the golf carts?"
Well, the people that were driving them were like two-headed sharks. They were in concert, and we were left out in the cold.
Well, the people that
Yeah.
were driving them were seeing double.
Who was the lead?
They were all hammered.
Who was the lead? Who was in the lead golf cart?
Oh God.
I called Bubble Boy, and he's like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, send one back for us." Okay. 20 minutes
Nothing.
later, nothing. I'm like, what the hell? I call him back.
it was,
Oh, yeah, we're going down to the beach. I go, well, come on.
Mermaid Kristen and I think Kevin. I'm trying to get them to take a cart back to you guys, and they're like the Keystone Cops. I'm like, oh no.
Okay. Well, I don't know how two-headed sharks turned into a discussion of golf carts on Bimini, but thank you, Casey. Thank you
Sharks
for that.
in Bimini.
Yeah. Okay, that's his connection. Good enough for me. Good enough for this show. And we got more shark news for you next. Stay close.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Hey, man. Hey, what are you doing today? I don't know. I was kind of bored. You want to do something cool? Well, like what? We could go scuba dive. Oh, yeah, that sounds great. I've never done it before. Well, there's only a few things that you gotta do to be good at it, and it's really easy to learn. Here, I'll show you. Come with me.
Okay, everyone, let's get our gear on. Let's go for our dive. Taxi right here.
Now be a scuba diver. It can be so much fun. Making memories and sharing good times in the sun. Descend with the quickness, equalize so you don't pop. To avoid decompression sickness, always make a safety stop. You know, gonna be a scuba diver. Gonna be an underwater survivor. I'm gonna be a scuba diver.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Greg the Dive Master, CJ and Bubble Boy in the studio, connected via the web. We got Jerry the Diver Guy, Casey the Tobacco Nut, Vinny Two Tanks, and Mermaid Rachel rounding out the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad. All right, so sharks are in the news big time. Two-headed sharks are on the rise. Yeah, whether it's because of sharks being depleted, and then they're just freaking out because they don't have as many sharks to breed with, and they're inbred and they start popping two heads. I mean, it sounds
Inbred
like
with scuba divers.
Oh, jeez. Should we just wait for him to listen to the last segment and then come back?
No.
Oh, okay, we'll keep going. Yeah. No, it's one of the theories, Casey, is that we've depleted the shark species so much that there's not enough diversity in their DNA, and so the sharks are inbreeding too much, which causes deformities like two heads or problems. You follow me? Does that bring you up to speed enough now?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
He was making a joke, I think.
Is that what that was?
It was, but
I don't know.
never mind. You've like dragged it through the dirt now.
Okay.
Usually they're funny, so that's how you can tell.
Yeah.
But sometimes
There's that little chestnut
Tough to
that
tell.
helps. Yeah.
I got a text from Barry's Riders.
Oh, okay. Way to represent. Okay. Anyway, so that's the two-headed shark story. Supposedly the other theory is just more people are reporting them because we have, cell phones. And they've always been out there, and there's just more of them being documented now, which that's a theory too. So it may be
Or it
something
could be
as
the
simple as
same
that.
one just getting photographed.
No,
different
it's not.
places.
It's different. They got plenty of different sharks. The one thing they don't have
could be a hoax, like the Loch Ness monster.
No, there's too many pictures of different sharks. They're finding them.
You could fake those.
No,
and where are
we
you
can't.
seeing all these pictures, Greg?
Chat
'Cause
GPT. Where else, you big dummy?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't believe that.
No.
No,
they're
not buying it.
they're catching them. Fishermen are catching them and then turning them into like aquariums and things. And they're But here's the thing: they haven't caught any bigger ones, like, other than juveniles. So they don't last very long. So, at least as far as we know. So
you need to be in like a carnival.
Well, good. Yeah, that would be
lady.
pretty free. I mean, if you would have told me this, 5-10 years ago, I probably would have laughed you out of the room. I would have said, two-headed shark. Come on, that only happens in the movies. But evidently, it really happens now, I guess.
What movie?
They rarely survive after birth, Greg.
Well, that's what I said, I think.
It is what you said.
Thank you.
And by the way, sharks.
Thanks, Barry.
Let me show it to you. Oh, look, I'm showing it to you.
Wait, don't show me that. That's disgusting.
We don't want to see anything on your phone.
Stop it. Stop it. Just stop it right now.
Is that
okay.
an eel?
Let's move on because Vinny's getting bored. And we got another shark
He's not
story.
the only one.
Now this one's a little bit more, I don't know, unfortunate and scary.
Interesting.
Mexico, the waters of Mexico. A diver who was going down for like some type of, I don't think it was abalone, but some type of crustacean.
He was diving for Axcalis scallops.
Scallops, okay. Oh, you have his name? Is that what you said?
His name was Manuel Lopez.
Ah, so you saw the story. And he literally got his head chomped off by a great white.
And tops of his shoulders.
Yeah. Now,
damn.
They had been warned in the area that there were some great whites circling the island. And you do hear about that where, you get into trouble with free divers, especially that are harvesting things like abalone in the California waters. And, but...
Dive with a buddy.
Dive with a buddy and don't dive for, mollusks and things like that. I guess they
buttocks? What'd you say?
No, I did not say that. Mollusks. And
dive your buddy's bullocks?
Like crayons or abalone.
Shut up, mollusk.
Yeah.
Bullocks.
I don't know, but you hear about this. It's happened in California waters before where the abalone divers used to get have problems with great whites in the area, right, Vinny? That's a thing.
It still goes on. A couple years ago, they lost we have a huge pot. You saw remember when you went diving with us? We saw the purple sea urchins.
Yeah, sure.
There's out in the Channel Islands. There's like thousands, millions of them. So it's a very popular food delicacy in Japan. Even here, it's uni. They get uni out of it. And one of the times the guy was gone. They didn't find a fin or anything. They figure he just got nailed by a great white.
Well, normally, they'll get attacked and then they'll get them back to the surface. They may die, they'll bleed out or something. But this one, evidently, according to the report, the guy's head got chomped off.
Damn.
That has to be pretty scary.
When you're a 19-foot to 20-foot great white, you can swallow a whole.
Well, exactly. I mean,
he just wanted a snack.
Well, I don't know what he wanted, but that's horror movie stuff right there.
Wait a minute.
Yes, Casey.
What if it's not a great white? What if it's a large two-headed shark taking 2 bites?
Or a mermaid.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
That would make way more sense.
They could take your head off.
No, blame it on the sharks.
Could be a mermaid with a pet.
Look how defensive she is.
Guadalupe is in Mexico, and that's where we learned that the mermaids are higher up the food chain than the great white. So it could have been a mermaid. I don't know I assume somebody saw the shark at the surface or something.
Well,
now
it's strange that Mermaid Rachel is not on the West Coast this week.
Why is that?
Maybe hiding out.
She's on the run.
She's
I'm
on the
a vegetarian.
She's on the run.
She's vegetarian.
What's
I'm just kidding. I'm not. I'm an omnivore, but
Okay.
I'm telling you, the mermaid was walking her pet two-headed shark, and he got out of control.
Okay. Well, there's another theory that makes no sense whatsoever. But whatever. That's fine. We're here to speculate and spread rumor and innuendo. That's kind of what we do sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an unfortunate situation, and it is right out of horror movie kind of stuff there. That's Jaws type stuff there. But so I hope it doesn't spark any other movie ideas. They got plenty other things that they could spend their time on that wouldn't hurt us in our diving world when it comes to sharks. Bubble Boy, what do you think?
Well, Greg, it's why do they always blame the shark? Like they didn't see it or didn't know, but the first thing they go to is, it's probably the shark bit his head off. How do they know it wasn't that little angry baby seal that was on the beach last week?
Okay.
Well,
all right.
they read the article.
Yeah.
They read the article. It actually, they told the guy that there is a shark out there.
Okay, so if
Yeah,
you
he was
read,
the only one.
yeah,
he was
if
the
you
only
read
one
the
diving.
article, you would know this.
Yeah, there's a shark out there.
Yeah, they warned him. They had been seeing the shark.
Yeah.
They actually
warned
been,
the
they
guy.
were actually staying
Yeah,
out for weeks.
you gotta watch
Mm.
for him because he's the one that goes around and bites off everyone's head.
I
We
bet it
know
was
him.
one of those damn octopus.
You think it's an octopus, do you?
Or a giant
I
squid.
think mermaid. Casey thinks it's a two-headed shark.
Giant squid.
Or a giant squid. Oh, like the Humboldt.
Ooh.
They have those.
Or the kraken.
Or an amorous
Oh, the
cuttlefish.
kraken, the mythical kraken. You're just,
Not the kind on the
Maybe it
bottle.
was a pissed off
Yes.
white whale.
Okay, well, this is totally worthless. We're going to get back on track maybe for in a minute or two. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio,
Scuba Radio.
the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
I can't believe them dumbass white people out in the middle of the ocean scuba diving. Shoot. You ain't gonna get me scuba diving. I'm gonna tell you that damn much right now. I'm too damn fat. I'd mess around and feed all them sharks if I went scuba diving.
If I was a great white, I wouldn't bite you, but I'd swim right next to you. If I was a great white, I wouldn't bite you, but I'd swim right next to you, cause it's my ocean too. So please keep it clean, cause I can be wicked mean, and I got sharp teeth. And if I realize that you don't care about the sea, well, that means you don't care about me. Oh, well, that's fine. I'll just rip you in bloody half this time. Yeah, if I was a great white shark. Rah!
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Eddie Castlegrave, I think he said his name right, but he's featured on Discovery Channel's Shark Week quite a bit. He's been to Guadalupe, God knows how many times. So I wonder how he feels about this. I'm guessing he's not a fan, but I don't know. We'll have to see how that progresses. You know, I like diving with sharks, and, you know, there's a little, there's a thrill to it, too. There's an element of that. But sometimes you just need to go to someplace different, someplace special. Maybe they have sharks, maybe they don't. And I'm thinking for our next big Scuba Radio trip, how about we go to Thailand? I think
I'm for it.
Yeah, Vinny, you've been to Thailand before, right? Twice.
Mm-hmm.
Did you dive a little bit
No.
there? No diving
No.
in Thailand. Well, supposedly you can. It's,
Don't do it, Vinny.
Here's the
Don't
thing.
take the bait.
There's an island.
Although
There's an island in Thailand called let's see, Koh Tai.
Phuket.
Koh. No, that's
Koh
not
something.
right. That's not.
There's Koh Samui, Koh
Koh Samui,
Phi,
that's
Koh
it.
Tao.
Koh
Yeah,
Tao. Koh Tao. And they've had
Cocoa Puff.
they've had like 5 dive masters or dive instructors die on that island in the last few years.
I hadn't heard about
It's
that.
getting the nickname of Death Island.
Why is that?
Because these dive instructors have died for mysterious
why
reasons.
have they died?
Well, the latest was a British dive instructor, and they just found him in his bungalow. He was dead, laying on the couch.
Oh, it wasn't even diving.
No, it was just mysterious reasons. They had like what?
Did he
what
have his
Go
head?
get to work.
and
Probably
they
too
s-
much indoor body surfing.
Land shark.
Maybe the dive shop didn't pay the proper the bribes.
Easy bitty.
Now, I don't know what it was,
A
but
lot of that's
but
a lot of that's
how would you
taken
like
care
to?
of by the mafia.
Well, that I was going to say, but how would you like to, go to a place called Death Island?
I think it was the cats.
It could have been the cats he was sleeping with. I don't know.
Call back.
But yeah,
I think it was the mafia.
you think?
Like a lot of the dive shops. Like I was working on CoPP,
Yeah.
and there are certain authorities that'll come around and you hand them a little pink envelope once a month.
Really?
And yeah,
Wow. Okay.
That's just a regular part of working there.
Well, you're not really selling it to me when you say it like that, though, Rachel. I'll tell you.
As a tourist, you're fine, right? If you're a business owner, that's different.
Yeah.
So like, you're never going to see that as a tourist.
Well, yeah. I don't know if the guy was. Maybe he was teaching. He was a British dive instructor, so maybe maybe he didn't pay off the right people or what. But the publicity this is getting is not good. I mean, unless you're a thrill seeker, you want to go dive with sharks. Better yet, hey, there's sharks in the water, sure, but there's sharks on land that might kill you.
Land sharks.
And you go to Death Island. I don't know. Would you? Is that on your list, Vinny? You like Thailand? You've told me this before.
Thailand in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but would you go to Death Island in Thailand? What do you think of that? Yeah,
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, it's like, hey, live dangerously. He's on the kind of.
Vinny just wants to go surfing.
I just want to have fun.
He just wants to have
dive.
fun. Yeah,
I just want to dive.
I really like Koh Phi Phi, Koh Lanta, anything on the West Coast. Some of those islands are pretty good. I spent a fair amount of time traveling up there and diving on those.
Yeah,
great.
That sounded great. Except Bubble Boy
was
with
us. She knows where to go.
Bubble Boy was
let's
concerned.
go.
He doesn't want to go to what Koh Phi Phi. What?
Yeah. I don't want Vinny banging on my door at 2 a.m. crying, "It's a boy, it's a boy."
Well, that's weird. I didn't know that would happen.
I don't get that, but
That's Phuket and Bangkok.
Oh, hey,
Phuket.
Bangkok
is pronounced.
Just stop. Don't even say another word. But the diving is really good there. Is that right, Rachel? So it'd be worth the risk of going to Death Island, and
Absolutely. Well, I spent 6 months working as a dive master out there, and it was, it's just absolutely beautiful. The dive sites out there, the visibility is amazing. The life is amazing. The thing I'd be curious about is, to see how the coral reefs are doing, because I know that there's a coral reef wasting disease that's working its way through Thailand right now.
Well, that's not good.
So I know it's kind of a bummer, because like when I was there, it was just absolutely beautiful.
Well, I'm guessing
thousands of barracuda swimming by, like 14 blacktip reef sharks. Like it's pretty cool.
I've heard the diving's great in that part of the world, but I'm guessing the tourism department doesn't like the Death Island news. I mean, that's not really great PR, to say the least. So, I'm only half kidding about this. I mean, it's unfortunate that this is happening. But, I think like anything like that, you got to take it with a grain of salt, because this stuff gets blown out in the media and that kind of thing. And then people will say, oh, it's unsafe. I can't go there. No way. Or, there was, the islands of the Bahamas or someplace was hit by a hurricane, and the entire, swath of islands is all, blackballed because of one little area that got hammered really bad. But the rest is, fine. But no one goes because they think everything's closed because of the media coverage. You think, Vinny? What do you think? Yeah.
All I know is I've traveled all over Asia by myself, and I've been in all the bad places, and nothing happened.
Yeah, but you're Vinny Two Tanks. When you say hey, I'm Vinny Two Tanks,
you're very recognizable.
Well, he already has that mafia connection.
Right. Apparently, I've had fun. I recommend we go to the Philippines. The diving's great in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Philippines is really good.
Well, yeah, that's where you used to do a lot of work, right, Rachel? Was Philippines?
I became a dive master in Thailand and a freediving instructor in the Philippines, and then bummed around the Philippines for a good 6 months as well. So there's amazing shipwrecks, also really beautiful coral reefs, where you can see your whale sharks, tons of amazing stuff.
I love it. Yeah, that's what we need, is Rachel to be our guide if we went on a trip like that. Because she could show us all the cool places. That's what's great when you go to a place and you get to interact more with the locals, like we did in Bimini last week, right? Mm-hmm. We had the dive god with us who pretty much started diving professionally there in Bimini years ago, and he knows all the people. They all know him. And so all the cool little places like Stewart's Conch Shack to go to, or Ebby's and what was the restaurant? Ebby's and what? Come on, spit it out.
Ebby and Pat's.
Pat's, there you go. And, the local spots that really, if you were just a tourist and didn't have someone who knew the area real well, you'd walk right past it and wouldn't think there was anything there, Yeah, Jerry?
You need to take Vinny to the Asian countries. I mean, he knows all the fun spots, too.
Yeah. What, in Bangkok, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
He
all
knows
right.
them all.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that a verb?
Maybe.
Actually, I never been to Bangkok. I always stayed by the islands. I was always out by the ocean.
Right.
So,
and that's way less safe. But if you're with Vinny Two Tanks, it doesn't matter because he just calls his mafia friends and they're like, hey, take care of these are my friends. You know,
I just
mess
pay
with them, you
attention.
mess with me. Right, Vinny? Is that how it works?
Well, no, I
I
just
love
pay
you
attention.
long
I
time.
Pay
don't position myself incorrectly, although I do take risks, but I've been pretty lucky.
Huh. Okay. Well, there's certain positions he won't take.
Right.
Getting older now.
Not touching
Vinny.
that.
Come on. That was perfect.
Yes.
Not touching that.
$5, I love you long time.
Okay, that's enough. That is enough. but yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. But we're going to have to add it to the list.
Another plus is it's very affordable.
It's very
food-wise.
affordable. That's right. Yeah, we can actually bring
I mean,
people.
you feel like a rich man when you go there. At least I
Okay,
do.
all right. Well, there you go. You heard it from Vinny Two Tanks. He knows. He's connected, if you know what I mean. And on that disturbing note, we're going to leave it. Till next time, remember, it's always better where, gang? Come on.
Down where it's wetter.
Safe diving, everyone.
On the boat or down below if you want to stay in the know. If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio.
This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, you know what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.